Hi, everyone. Today we're looking at chapter 13. And if you haven't read it yet, just press the pause button and come on back. All right, so we're all here. We've all read chapter 13. Chapter 13 starts with the Antioch Church, which is located in northern Syria. And it's significant because the church in Antioch is going to take purposely a very important step that hadn't been taken before, and that was to send out missionaries. We know that in the church in Antioch, they already had some kind of leadership structure because we're told they had leaders and prophets. Anyway, they came together worshiping the Lord, and during their worship service, someone, either a prophet, a teacher, a pastor, somebody had a word, and it was verified by these leaders, it was in fact from the Holy Spirit, that they were supposed to send Paul and Barnabas out on a missionary journey. Now, I'm supposing that they were also supposed to support them. So they laid hands on them and sent them out. They went to the island of Cyprus, which was where Barnabas was born. And of course, that would mean that Barnabas was familiar with the island, probably had friends. But we're told they went through the whole island, preaching the gospel. And that opened up a door for them to go and preach the gospel to the governor, Sergius Paulus. Now, Sergius Paulus had on his staff, or someone who hung around him, a seer. And this seer, when Paul and Barnabas began to preach the gospel, he opposed them. Well, this frustrated Paul, so Paul rebuked him. And when he rebuked him, the Holy Spirit made this seer temporarily blind. Now, that impressed the governor, and the governor became a Christian. Paul and Barnabas had taken a young man with them by the name of John Mark. He was Barnabas' cousin's son, young man, and we don't know why, but for some reason, when they left Cyprus, John Mark left them and went back to Jerusalem. People have speculated maybe he had marijuana, maybe he had malaria. He was a young man. Maybe he had a girlfriend. He missed her. He was just homesick. But we do know that Paul was greatly disappointed in him. And in later on, I think it's Acts chapter 15, my brother Mark will explain that further to you. But anyway, Paul and Barnabas got on a boat, went to Pamphylia, the province of Pamphylia, landed in a port city, Perga. We don't know what they did there because we're not told. But from there they went to Pisidian Antioch, which wasn't a really large town. But on the Sabbath they came, and the leaders there let them speak. They preached Jesus to them, and it was and a lot of people were interested in this message, so they asked them to come back the following Saturday, the following Sabbath. So they were in that town for 6 days. So for those 6 days, they were talking to people about Jesus, and other people were talking about them, so much so that on the next Sabbath, the whole synagogue was filled with people, filled with God-fearing Gentiles. We're told that the Jews were very jealous, and they were jealous because these God-fearing Gentiles, they hadn't become Jews. And one of the reasons is the men didn't want to get circumcised, and because they had these baths that all the men would go to, and you've been circumcised, you're a Jew now. So it was a complicated thing. Anyway, these God-fearing Gentiles were attracted to the Jewish religion because of its morality. In the Roman culture, it was so immoral that many Romans were just looking for some kind of morals. Anyway, all these God-fearing Gentiles showed up, and the Jews were jealous because these God-fearing Gentiles gave a lot of money to the synagogue. To make a long story short, the Jews chased Paul and Barnabas out of Pisidian Antioch, and they went to Iconium, about 90 miles away, and Jim will talk about that tomorrow. There are three takeaways that I'd like to go over quickly from chapter 13. The first is the importance of worship. It was important in the early church, and it's important now. Psalms 22:3 says that God is enthroned in the praises of his people. Something supernatural happens when we come together as a church and worship God. I can tell you that's the number one thing that I miss right now. I can't wait for us to get back together and worship as a church. I've read many, many times over the years, when persecuted Christians, when the persecution lessens so that they have the opportunity to meet together, the first thing they want to do is worship God together. There's something supernatural about that. I just can't wait for us to get back to having church as normal. The second takeaway, so the first is the importance of worship. The second takeaway that I have from Acts 13 is in the Apostle Paul's message that he gave in Antioch, Pisidian Antioch, was the importance of the fact that you and I are the light of the world, that you and I have a responsibility of preaching the gospel to our friends and neighbors wherever God would open up a door, and that we need to look for those opportunities. And thirdly, well, along with the fact that we have an opportunity to preach the gospel, witness to other people, along with that second point is that God's going to prepare the way. If God opens a door for you to share with someone, to stand up for righteousness, to tell someone what the Bible says, to minister to someone who needs your help, if God opens a door for you like that, he has prepared the way. And if you read through chapter 13, you'll see that God had prepared the way for Paul and Barnabas to preach the gospel in Antioch. The third takeaway is I'm reminded of the church's obligations for missions. That we, the church, have an obligation to send out missionaries in the world. Not only send them out, but and lay hands on them, but also support them. I'm running out of time, so just want to quickly go over the three takeaways that I have from chapter 13. The first is the importance of worship. The second is the importance of sharing the gospel. The third is the importance of sending out missionaries. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you next time.